Let's see here. I believe we're going online. Going online. And there we go. YouTube is now online. Hello, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, creatives, faith focused freelancers, musicians, all of you who are here. Let me make sure. There we go. Everything is just going live. Let me make sure I mute. And so I want to thank you for joining me. If you're watching this on a replay, for the Creatives Checkup, we're on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So I'm always kind of looking back and forth between 3 or 4 different screens. Kind of created a little media empire right here in my little studio here. But it's such a blessing to share with you, to talk to you. This is our place where we can talk about the things that affect us as creatives on a daily basis, to deal with the practical and the spiritual issues that we deal with when it comes to faith, family, and relationships, all related to the creative life. So I'm going to be looking all over the place. I'm going to be checking out Instagram here. I'm going to be looking over to my side here where I have our YouTube going on as well. And I will be, of course, addressing our friends here on Facebook. So if you have questions, anything that I will talk about today, we do have a chat box. I'll try to keep track of all the different things that are going on in the chat. And let's see if I can send a little chat here to see if that goes to everybody. So yeah, hopefully you'll be able to see the chat at least on Facebook and on YouTube. Again, these are different things that we're trying out to try to reach as many of you as possible. We moved our time from 2 p.m. From 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern, so that 11 a.m. would be a more appropriate time for you guys out on the West Coast. So once again, these are all things we're trying to do to help you to build a better life from the inside out. I'm gonna slide my camera over a little bit because I feel like I'm so far over to one side. But I don't know if I should move or the camera should move. It's kind of like a weird thing I'm dealing with right now because I have to make sure I know where I am and what's going on in terms of all these different screens. Okay, so today what we are going to be starting with, what we're going to be talking about, is the beginning of our summer website creative challenge, or a cleanup challenge. And this is a personal challenge I've made for myself. What's up, Jody? See you, Jody, there on Instagram. Good to see you, bro. Miss you guys. Miss you, bro. So I'm talking about, again, last week we talked about websites, and I'm continuing this, but you might say, okay, why am I focusing so much on websites? Why am I talking about this during the summer? It's really a personal thing that I realized that when we hit COVID and all this stuff started happening and we had to do all of our contacts and stuff through the internet, I realized that my website was not ready, that I was missing out on customers. I was missing out on people that wanted to hear my music. I was missing out on being able to promote, whether it was my live streams. I was basically almost blind in a sense. Like I was in a hole. I had no way of really getting to anybody and through my website because I hadn't maintained it. And the reason why I think this is so important in this age of COVID and coronavirus is because now musicians, creatives, freelancers, everything has now turned digital. You really have no way except for every occasional live event where you get to interact with people. Everything is through the prism of social media and our websites. So my problem that I faced was that I didn't have my digital home ready. My digital home was kind of just falling apart. I didn't have my email addresses there. I didn't have my videos updated. So much of this was, and this is back in March, guys. So what I've realized is that I've got to clean up my site. I've got to get things back to working condition. And I figured I'm not the only one. I figure that there's others of you out there that may need a summer cleanup of your website. And that doesn't include just your website. This is basically your digital home. So think about all the rooms in your house. Like you've got your kitchen, you've got your living room. You maybe got your bedroom, of course, where you're there, you're privately there. But then there's places in your house that people walk into. And so just imagine that your website and your social media and all that stuff is your digital home. What do people see when they walk in? Is the website inviting? Does it help people realize what they need to see and what they need to get as soon as they see it? Or is it something where, like me, you realize that it's really in disrepair and people can't find what they need to find, and you might be losing out on stuff? So, what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be basically walking you through live my reconstruction of my website. Alan Paul Music is where I was doing my website address is. And so what I thought would be extremely challenging but also very instructive would be to do my site rebuild basically in front of everybody in 7 days. Now, I want to quickly give you some caveats here as I look around and make sure that everything's working. I think we're good here on Facebook and on YouTube. Let me take a quick glance at Facebook and make sure everybody is seeing me okay. So this is my dilemma and also what I would suggest that how we do this, okay? My dilemma was, how do we figure out a way to show everyone who might be in different places with your website? And by the way, you can comment as you're watching this. What is the condition of your website? Let's do it from 1 to 5. 1 being, I don't even have one. I'm totally lost. It's totally falling apart. I don't really know what to do with it. And same thing with my social media. Like I haven't really been active. If that particular part of your online presence is like spotty or shaky, put a 1 in the comments or in the chat. If in fact your website is totally tip-top shape, you know exactly where it's hosted, you update it regularly, you have contact with your fans, your people can find your music or your art. If all of that is working well for you, then go ahead and put a 5. Okay, so 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. So let me know what you are dealing with in terms of your website so that I can kind of interact with you and see where you're at. Because before we even start this, I need to see where everybody is. I need to see whether or not you need this kind of assistance. And I know I need it, but I need to know if anybody else needs it. So if I see a bunch of 5s here and everybody's got a really tip-top shape and website, and you don't need to like figure out how to build it as an entrepreneur, creative entrepreneur who doesn't necessarily have a team. Maybe you have a website designer or developer who's helping you to keep it updated. Maybe you're dealing with it that way. So you may not have the same issues that I'm having, but for me, I know I have to deal with this and walk into it. There's Anne from Lindsay from Ulencia Photography. Good to see you, my dear. This is a great friend. And speaking of photos, look, she just jumped in there at the right time. She is the one, and her and Ulysses of Ulencia Photography have done all my photos for most of my shoots and all of my different things. They've been doing great photography work, and this is one of the things I'm going to be doing throughout the challenge. If you sign up for the challenge, you need to go to godandgigs.com/cleanup. godandgigs.com/cleanup. I should have had that graphic ready and I don't. But if you go to godandgigs.com/cleanup, you can sign up for this challenge. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be sending out, number one action step or one thing to correct or change or fix in your website. Something that will help you to gain more customers, gain more influence, and make more income from your online presence. And then at the end of this challenge, is 7 days, I will, number one, present you with some new resources, some different graphic designers, possibly some web designers that will sign on. We'll work together so that each person has the resources they need to continue this. Because of course you can't rebuild the entire site. I can't rebuild my entire site and have it be done in 7 days. I can't do that, okay? I need to work on it throughout the year, and it has to be continually maintained. But I'm going to get the nuts and bolts done in the first 7 days. That's the goal here. I want to get it started. I don't want to do it all at once because it's really impossible. But I want to show you how I do this. Now for Instagram, this is going to be tricky because you guys can't see my screen. And so I'm going to have to kind of explain what I'm doing. Now, those of you who are on Facebook and YouTube, you could see my screen. And so I was trying to figure out how I could get my camera on Instagram so everybody could see this. But I'm just going to have to kind of, for Instagram, I apologize. I'll have to, narrate what I'm doing so that you guys can see it, because I don't have a stand right now that will show you what's on Instagram, what's on my screen. But I would like for you guys to be a part of this. And so that's why I went ahead and went live on IG as well. Once again, you guys can go to godandgigs.com/cleanup, sign up for the challenge. I'm going to be doing this for the next 7 days, going live at least Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern, same time as the Creative Checkup. And we're going to walk through this. So let's start from the beginning in terms of why I am doing this and why the things that in my website that were missing. What I realized when I went to my website, and I might as well pull it up right now. So you know what? Let's go ahead and get ready to Instagram. You guys, I wish you could see this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. I got to see the screen. Can't do this if I don't see my own screen. All right, there we go. We switched. I think I got it now. And so what we're looking at, well, go to here. You don't want to look at Facebook. Is my website. Okay. So I'm showing a picture on this of my website, and as you can see right now, all I have is a template, and we are now inside WordPress. Okay, so I'm actually showing you the inside of WordPress. So I kind of like do a little bit of techie stuff here. Those of you who are on Instagram, I'll explain it. So WordPress is what a website can be built on. Some people use Wix and Weebly and Squarespace. Those are hosting companies that allow you to build your site on top of their templates. WordPress is something called WordPress.org. There's two different things, WordPress.org and WordPress.com. WordPress.com is also kind of like a place where you can do a one-stop shop. You can build everything on top of templates that are already there. WordPress.org is the software that lives in the cloud where you can build your website. Shantae, so good to see you. Oh my gosh, it's so nice to see you. Happy belated birthday, by the way, Shantae. Sorry, she just jumped in on IG. Just wanted to say hi. So these two sites, these two things, WordPress.com, WordPress.org, they're two things that a lot of people get confused. Here's what I'm suggesting for everybody that's listening if you are interested in joining in this website challenge. I'm going to be rebuilding my site on WordPress.org. Okay, the reason I'm building it on WordPress.org is because before I had one of those template sites that nobody really took care of. I didn't take care of it, and it didn't really serve my needs. Even though it kind of was like a music site. It said, oh, put your pictures here and put your events here. It really didn't work for me, and I don't think that without the control that you have the ultimate ability to reach the people you want to reach, if your site is kind of like just sitting with a I don't know what to call it, but if it's not active, if you're not actually in control of the information you're giving out, if it's just kind of like static, if you just throw up a video here and there, but you never really overall know where is it hosted, how are you taking care of this stuff. And again, what I'm talking about, everybody, is the fact that in this digital age, COVID and everything else, that's your address, is your house. So when people are looking for you, whether it's on online, Spotify, social media, eventually they're going to come to your house. And what I said last week is that in terms of your rented space, social media is rented. You don't really own that space. You don't own your Twitter account. Twitter does. You don't own your social media account on Instagram. Instagram can change it whenever they want. The only place you really own is your website, because you can own your domain and you can own your site. You can design it however you want. And the best way to do that is through WordPress.org. So one way that you can do that is going by buying your domain name, which I explained last week. You can go back and look at that Creative Checkup. And then go to a company like Bluehost, which is the one I recommend. And this is where I'm building my site on WordPress.org, which I am managing through Bluehost. Okay, so Bluehost hosts my website, and then I can build it right here and start to put it together in WordPress.org. So I hope all that makes sense. Gets a little techie, but I knew that would happen in this particular challenge. But let's talk about what I need to have here. So as you can see right now, I've got nothing. I've just got my name. I was able to upload a picture here, but it's a template. It's just the very beginning of the site. There's nothing else. So I have to now figure out, how am I going to make my site? You know what? I'm very tempted to see if I can figure out Instagram for you guys to see my screen. I just don't know where I'm going to put this, the camera. So I don't want to interrupt everybody, but I really want Instagram to see this too. So this is what I'm trying to think of. What would I need to put on this page so that I can get my customers, my fans, my audiences to actually want to come? Now, some of you guys might, again, have web designers and web developers that can simply throw this stuff onto your screen and you know exactly where it needs to go. You just tell them where to put it, they send it back to you. And I love web designers and graphic designers, but not everybody has that. And so what I wanted to do is show you from the core part of not being I'm not a designer. I just have to go in here and figure it out. But I need to just tell myself, okay, what does my audience need to see? What are they looking for when they come to my site? What do they need to feel? What do they need to get immediately? And here's one thing, even as far as I look at my page, good to see you, McKeith. Um, I'm already thinking to myself, do they really need to see a big picture of my big old face? Is that really going to help? Now, it's possible it could, but it might be that the picture itself is not, and this is where a lot of people get mixed up, including me. I'm already looking at it right now. I'm building this live in front of you. The most important information here is not the picture. The picture of me on my website is just to help kind of like people know where they found me and they know what I look like. But the picture is not the biggest issue. The biggest issue is what are they going to learn and know and find out as soon as they get to my page. And so I'm really curious about whether or not, oops, sorry, I had to switch there. I just moved this screen over so you guys can see this, and I can move this over here. There we go. So make sure I'm not hiding anything from you guys. All right, so I want to make sure that the first page has some information that people need to see. So number one, let's talk about this. They need to be able to contact me. Now, yes, they can find me on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, but those links need to be there, right? So I need to make sure that I have some social links there. I also need to make sure that they can hear my music right away, because maybe they didn't find me on Spotify. Maybe they didn't find me so my music needs to be there. So all those menus that you guys need to see, that needs to be there for people who want to find it. They also might want to buy some of my music. So maybe I need to have some links where people can buy the music and they can see my links. And these links need to be put together correctly so that it's easy to find. And then finally, one of the things I think is most important that a lot of people miss out on, they need to be able to sign up for my email list. And the email list, as much as many people think email is dead, it's not. And it's still the most important way that people stay in touch with you, because you can build a relationship with people through your email list. Okay, so I need to have those things on my site. Now, I bought this particular theme. A theme goes on a website that creates this little look of it. I bought this theme from Studio Press. I think it was like 60 bucks or something like that. So it gives me some possibilities here of things I can set up. So I'm just going to try to set up one thing today for the beginning of the challenge. And then tomorrow we might do another piece. And then you guys can ask questions if you sign up at godandgifts.com/cleanup. And then you can we can work on this together. And if there's things that you feel like you need to tweak, things you haven't freshened up about your site, we can work on that. And we can do this as a community. That's right. That's one thing I forgot. I didn't share this to the creative community. I got to do that right now, because I always want my creative community to see this, and I forgot to share it to them. So let's make sure I do that. Now, in the meantime, let's figure out where I want to put that first thing. So the first thing I want to put, again, is just some simple links. Some simple links that I want some people to see, like how to reach me. And so thank God on Studio Press and on this particular theme, it's not that hard. And that's why I wanted to show this to you, that on WordPress, it is not so hard to do things. People might say, well, I'm not a graphic designer, I'm not a web designer, I don't know what to do. But it is not as hard as you think. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to find, let's see, we're going to go to homepage settings. Actually, let's go a little farther back. Let me see, theme settings. And as you can see, I'm just checking out here to see what's available to me. And you're seeing my page literally right in front of you, which has nothing yet. There's my background image and my menus. Let's start with menus, by the way. I have not built any menus yet, but I can already see here I'm going to need someplace where they're going to navigate and figure out where to go. So I could put, maybe I want to make sure that my first thing that I put is my contact. So I want the contact to be part of the menu. I don't even have anything here ready yet, but I can just say, okay, we're going to add this to my list on my things that I want on my page. So I want to contact, let's see, let me go back. Oh, that's a custom link. I want to go back to contact. Oh, you know what? It was already there. My problem was, and see, you may see me doing this right now. My problem was is that I wanted to have a before content menu. That's where I wanted to show up. So as you can see here, primary navigation, view all locations, and this is where that menu is going to show up. So when I go to different pages, they will see that menu pop up. Now, of course, like now I don't even have any pages. So I just want to set that up to be ready when it pops out, so that I'll be able to see where people want to go and figure out where they want to go. But I have all these choices here. All right, now let me go back. Wait 1 second. Go up. There we go. Primary navigation. I'm going to take out all of these pages. I'm not going to need any of these things. These are all things from the samples. Well, I want to go back to is the page settings, where I get to set up each one of my little sections here. And I know where that is. I found it just a second ago. Here's where I set it up. And it's under widgets. I just need to find that right page. There we go, home section. So I wanted to create a place where there was a recent show, or I could show something with YouTube. So the cool thing is, in this theme, I was able to just find a place where I was able to put that. So let me remove it and put it back so you can see how that looks. And so, you know what? And I feel like I'm skipping steps here. I feel like I should go back here and fix the first thing they see here, the welcome to amazing. That's got to change too. So maybe I should start with that. And see, here I have a text, welcome to amazing. I don't like that at all because that's not what it is. I'm not going to be welcome to amazing. Maybe I'll just put welcome to musical world. Maybe I'll just try it like that and just see how that looks. And then maybe here I might put a subtitle. We share where you can find my performances, music coaching, music, well, it's not music, education, resources, and more. All right, so as you can see, I just really just threw that in there. I'm not planning this out necessarily. I just wanted to get something up there that will at least get me started, okay? Instagram, thanks so much for joining me once again. I know this is kind of a weird one because I'm using my screen here, and I wanted to turn it around where you can see my screen, and I can't necessarily do it. So Facebook and YouTube can see this. So this is going to be a weird one for me. I'll have to probably repost this and show you a screenshot of everything that I'm doing here. So there we have that first page. That's the home section. Now I'm going to go back over here and find one of the sections I was in. Let's see. Oh, that's right, I took it out. So let's go over here to number 2, and let me just add another widget. And a widget is just something where I realize that, you can add any of these things. I want to add a gallery of pictures. Maybe I want to add a featured post. Maybe I want to add a page. I want to add this. But right now, like I said, something super easy would be to add a video. And so I'm just going to jump in. And again, I'm just inside wordpress.org and just fooling around a little bit to show you what I'm going to be doing over the next 5 days. So as you can see, I can insert a video from the URL. And so let me go over here. Actually, this will be on the current site, so it'll be kind of weird, but let me go to my music page and get a video. So I'm going to switch to this one. And let me find one of my videos here that I could post. And I think this one will work just fine. It was already open to it. Well, no, I think I have to go back a little bit. Let's see here. Wait till it opens, because the computer is running slow because it's running a million things at once. Yeah, we're going to go back to my channel. And my videos. Yeah, it's going to take a while to open, so I'm going to stay over here for a second while that opens up. But once I have the video, I can throw it in here, and then I'll have a place for my video to show up. And once again, all I'm trying to do is figure out what do I want people to see first on my site. And YouTube is obviously one of the biggest things that people will immediately gravitate to. They'll watch a little bit of a video. They'll want to know a little bit more about me. And then they can go find those links that will be on the social media page. So I need to figure out where to put those as well. Okay, let's see if that opened. Yes, finally. Okay, so let me go to my videos, and I'll grab one of these. Let's grab this one. And I'm just going to go ahead and get that URL. Don't really need to watch it right now. And stick it in. Add to widget. Oh, put too many two HPSs. There we go. And there it is. All right, so what again I'm just trying to show you is that, you know, WordPress.org isn't as scary as you think it is. There we go. And I can give it this title or so on. Let's say recent shows. And different themes have different ways of putting things together. So if anybody's noticing anything that you say, oh, you know, Alan, you could have done this or could have done that, that's fine. Remember, this is just the first day that I'm trying this in front of you guys and just seeing what I might like and what I might want to add. So we know I need a menu. I have not got a menu yet. You know what, Instagram, I got to take you over here. Hold up. Everybody's like looking at me. It's going to be weird. But I'm going to try to move this so that you guys can see the very thing that I'm doing, because this is silly for me not to show you what's going on, and you guys have to like imagine this. I don't have anything I could stick this on right now that's going to work, because this particular holder won't work on this particular thing, so I might just have to hold it. So high tech, right? All right, so yeah, there we go. Maybe that'll work just for now. But anyway, point being is that this is what I've got so far. So now at least Instagram can see. Simple, simple, simple. Nothing at all yet that I could even say I want to show anybody. Oh, and by the way, this does not show up to anyone because I have a plugin that's called Coming Soon. And Coming Soon means that anybody that goes to my site right now will just see a simple page that doesn't even have anything right now. There's no, it's just a picture, and it could give me maybe a landing page link, but that's about it. So I don't want people to see me building the site right now. I don't want anybody to like see what's going on. I just want them to know that something is coming soon. So one other thing I wanted to try to add in front of you was, we said we'll do the menus later, but I'm going to walk through that. I wanted to add a contact place. So let's see, let's do the widgets again. And let's go to home section 3, and let me add a widget, and let me see what the contact info looks like. Let's see here. Navigation, recent comments. I don't have a contact page yet, so I'm gonna have to come up with one. I'm gonna need that. These are the same widgets, so I'm not gonna use that one. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go back to the front page, make sure I have a contact page, because when I have the contact page, that'll be where people can find me. Now, one quick thing for WordPress.org, and anybody that knows more about this, feel free to correct me or fix it. I hit publish, and that saves what I've done so far. Okay, so that was just a really, oh, one good other thing about WordPress is that you can see how it looks on a phone or a tablet. So here, I've just got two things. Just the very beginning. This page might be a problem. I might need to fix this. So there we have like two or three things that I could just say, okay, let me just throw up some things and see how it looks, whether or not I like the way it's going, and what other pages I need to add. Now I want to go back out for a second. You guys may not have seen this page, but this is the inside of WordPress.org. And here's where you can add the other things, the pages, the comments, all the other things that I haven't yet added. This was just like a beginning step to me looking at the site, looking at what I wanted to build, and so on. So hopefully that was helpful. So here I am trying to hold my phone and do all this at the same time. I'm just going to have to put this down. See if I can still have you guys see me without any problem, without messing up everything else. All right, so let's see here. That was basically the opening of the challenge. So my challenge to you really for the first day is figuring out what needs to go on your site. What are the things you need right away? What are the things that you need to design and say, this would be the first thing that people will be looking for when they go on to my site? And how am I going to design it and prepare it so that I have those things in place? That's the first step. And that's what I'm starting to do. But as you can see, it's not even close at the beginning. And that's what I wanted to be honest about. I said, okay, I'm not a web designer. I'm not going to go up here and prove that I know everything about WordPress.org. I want to prove that it's possible for you to do in 7 days without having all of the web information, without all having all the design information. As long as you know some basics, you'll be able to do this. That's my goal for this particular challenge. And so if you want to join the challenge, once again, go to godandgeeks.com/cleanup and sign up. And then at the end of these 7 days, I think, even though you've only seen a couple of things where I started trying to build the site, in the last few days, you'll see it start to come together. You'll see things that you can do with your site, things like the bio, things like the contact list, things like the email list, things like the pictures and the videos and things like that, that you can add to your WordPress.com site, WordPress.org site. And if you build it somewhere else like Weebly, Wix, if you're already using those things, then that's cool because those sites work as well. I'm just using WordPress because that gives me the most flexibility. And again, going through a hosting company like Bluehost gives me all the connections and all the information I need so I can make the right decisions about my website, okay? Now, if you're interested in any of these resources I'm using, by the way, I didn't build my entire site by myself either. I also use some different web designers and developers and tech support. I got those through Fiverr. You can go to godandgeeks.com/Fiverr, Fiverr, 2 R's, and you can check that out and be able to find web designers, graphic designers, writers, content writers, people that help you with your site, so you don't have to simply wait for the resources I'm going to give you. You can go to godandgeeks.com/Fiverr now and look up those people to help you clean up your site. So those are the first couple of steps. So the first action step is, what do you need? What's missing from your site? What are the things, like I mentioned, a bio, a place to buy music, a place to contact you? Are your photos up to date? Are your pictures up to date? Do they really say what it's supposed to say about you? Or when people come to your first site, is it kind of like messy and not quite coherent and not quite showing them your best self? If it's not, then you're probably like me. You probably need to start from square one. Get started, figure out what needs to be on your site. And by the way, like I said, showing you my process was not designed to be a tutorial. It was me being honest and saying, hey, I'm someone that has to work this out too. I've built sites before, but this is a new theme I'm using. I wasn't really familiar with it. I got to go through the tutorials, through Bluehost, through WordPress.org. I got to work on some things to make sure my menus show up in the right place, and make sure that at least that front page is going to look decent. And if I need help, I'll call in help. And I also have some resources inside this community that I'm going to be sharing with you that you might want to go to and say, you know what, I can't figure this out. Maybe I do need to hire a designer for this part or that part. The point is to get started. Start cleaning up your site. Start working on these things. So tomorrow I'm going to come back. I'm going to work a little more. I'm going to show you again my process of figuring things out, doing it very, very, very openly. When I get stuck, you're going to see me get stuck. When I need help, you're going to see me ask for help. So I hope you've enjoyed this little creative checkup. I hope you're going to join us on a creative challenge to get your websites freshened up. Make sure that you have the best access possible to your community and to your audiences. So make sure you join us tomorrow. Normally we come every week, but this time we're going to be doing it every day for a little while. So make sure to join me tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, so that you can join in this creative checkup challenge to clean up our sites, get everything working the way that they're supposed to work so we can have the best impact we can on our audiences. Okay? So thank you all you guys who joined in and watched, whether it was on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. These will stay up, so we'll be doing this throughout the week, obviously. And so if there's anything you missed from a previous challenge when you watch this, you can come back and watch this video, of course, as well, if you're starting this challenge a little later on in the week. Okay? God bless. Take care. Be safe. And I'll see you tomorrow, 2 o'clock.